Welcome to the Empowered Entrepreneur Show. Discover your life's purpose, reprogram your mind for success, and attract an abundance of paying clients to your business. Now, here's your host, Tom Tenaglia.
Aloha, Empowered Entrepreneur. I am Tom Tenaglia, and you're listening to the Empowered Entrepreneur Show. And today I want to talk about one of my 27 mind-blowing marketing laws for attracting clients like crazy. And this one is the law of give versus take. And the law of give versus take says every piece of content should be written and designed such that it gives to the prospect or customer. If it looks, sounds, or even feels like an ad, it will be rejected by the prospect, even if it is the best thing for them. The law of give versus take is an interesting one because well, I'm just going to make it really super easy for you. Instead of getting into examples of comparing ads and stuff, which I really can't do in a podcast, the idea here is when a prospect looks at it, there's a certain feel that they'll get that will indicate whether there's a certain ad-like feel. To simplify and really make your marketing, I'm just going to cut right to the chase on this one. One of the best ways that I find to really just make your marketing meet the mark, in my opinion, is you write a piece of content or a piece of copy or whatever with no expectation initially that you're going to ask the prospect for a sale or a purchase or an action. Of course, you will have a call to action in it. But what happens is, this is very interesting. People that are used to putting out informational content without getting anything in return, they do a really good job of it. And then when they have to put an ad together, they tend to violate their own rules of informational content. This is actually, in my opinion, I've seen this with famous newspapers. They're really good at putting out content, and then they go to write an ad to sell their newspaper subscription, and they actually make it look like an ad, and people don't read the ad. And so it's very, very interesting. I'm not saying make it look like an article. What I'm saying is keeping in mind that your mindset of, are you adding value to the reader, or are you wanting the reader to do something for you, is vastly important going into how you write and how it comes across. An article that a newspaper writes that they just want to get the information out there, they want to let the reader read it, there's a different energy to it. Versus if they're writing an ad to say, okay, reader, give me money to buy this subscription, different energy to it. So, I mean, the podcast here, all I want to do is just continue sharing information. And a lot of my podcasts don't even have calls to action in them. It's kind of interesting because I probably should go back and try to get calls to action in them. But realistically, I just want to get content out there. And yeah, I mean, is there a form of the podcast to help grow the business? Sure. But really, at the end of the day, it's how can I put out a bunch of really high quality free content for people to consume, and help them grow their business. The podcast for me is all about really giving. And yeah, there's the occasional call to action, but really the call to action in the podcast is, hey, if you want help doing this, then just reach out and we'll help you. I mean, it's really that simple. Yeah, I have 27 marketing laws. I have a product that I'm actually putting together, and I've recorded it and everything. And eventually I'll be most likely selling it. But that's not the point of sharing one of the laws. The point of sharing one of the laws is to say, how many emails have I seen recently? See, you can tell. How many emails have I seen recently where it looks like an ad? It's like a circular. It looks like an ad versus an actual email. I mean, the number of there are some emails that I just see who's sending them, what company is sending them, and I just archive them. I don't even open them. Sometimes I don't even read the subject line. So it's just because I already know that their email is just an ad. I also can't stand certain emails where their ad is more like, hey, we have a special offer for you. Click this button and see what it is. Like, wait, you're going to make me click now? Like, come on now, guys. Like, at least add some value first. Like, share some tips or tricks or secrets or something that adds value, as opposed to just making it a sales message, right? As opposed to, just trying to always get from the customer. There was a set of conversations back in the 90s, I think it was, when affiliate marketing was kind of starting, might have been early 2000s. And the idea that you could write high value emails and then after several high value emails, an email that's more around a particular affiliate offer or something like that. Now it's generally that each email should add value, and then you can have a call to action in there. Hey, tell you what, I'm going to give you another one of the laws, because I think it goes really well with the law of give versus take, and that's the law of 1 = 1. Which, the way I like to say it is, if 100 people who took an action didn't take the same action, it's not following the law of 1 = 1. And the idea that every web page, every email, every piece of content should be based around one and only one action that you want the reader to take. Too many options results in confusion, and a confused mind never buys. So, in an email, what's that one thing that you want the reader to do? Each call to action in there should basically take you to the same place. Now, I'll tell you this. There is an advanced way of looking at this. The law of 1 = 1 doesn't exactly say to have not multiple options, but what it's really saying, the deeper lesson of that, is to say, is there one option that the reader is going to choose that's right for them? So if you have a basic product and an advanced product, the reader should be able to figure out, okay, are they just getting started and they need the basic one? Or are they further along? Or do they just want to skip, needing to go through the basic one first, and they're ready to dive right in and they can go with the advanced one? No reasonable reader is going to go buy the basic and the advanced if the advanced also includes the basic, right? So in that example, it's like the reader is figuring out which path is them, and they're able to narrow it down on their own to one option. Versus, hey, we have 3 or 4 different courses, like in my astrology business. If I had a course on Saturn and a course on Mercury and a course on, the moon sun path, and a course on the nodal path, and a course on Chiron, which some of those courses I have, and some of them I thought about making, and I just listed them all in the email, the reader wouldn't know which one to go with. And I can't just go, well, if you want to get better at talking to people, get the Mercury course. And if you want to get better at, if you've never felt good enough in your life, and you want to tap into your inner greatness, and, go with, the Saturn Chiron courses or whatever. I can't just do that, because the reader could say, well, I actually want all of them. And then they have too many options, and they're a bit overwhelmed, they're slightly confused, and they're not going to buy anything. Versus a path to take. And still, the path should be, here's an even deeper aspect of the deeper aspect of 1 = 1, which is the path should be starting from that same point where that reader is. So if the reader is on a particular journey, right, what is their particular next step? So if I were helping a small business owner to get marketing out there, right? Well, let's say, well, you know what, that's a little bit more complex, because we have to figure out what marketing process we want to use for that particular business, which is where my one-on-one work really comes in. But let's look at the dating example. Okay. If somebody, let's say there's a guy who, okay, he's looking for a girlfriend. Okay. And he's on the path to a girlfriend. There's one path for him. It's find the girlfriend. Okay, get a girlfriend. Well, then my options in the email, it's like, okay, well, if you don't know anything about how to start a conversation with a woman, okay, here's a product. If you're already good at starting a conversation with a woman and you want to actually get into the dates, here's another product. Realistically, though, I don't know that I would package them in that way. Those are the milestones. Those are the steps they take. I would look at, hey, if you're just getting started on your quest to finding a girlfriend, here's a product. And if you really just want to do everything possible to find the girlfriend now, then here's the other product. And I would leave it like that, because what you're tapping into is more of their self-acknowledgement of where they are in their pain awareness, so to speak, such that they want their solution solved. So they want their solution now, right? So the more you can tap into, hey, wait a minute, if this is you're basically saying without saying, if this is a bigger pain for you and you want this solved right now, buy my more expensive thing. If it's just a little pain, you're kind of thinking about it, you might want a girlfriend, you might not, you're open to the idea, okay, here's something small for you. Because then it's actually getting them to identify, and the more that you can focus on getting to better understand who these people are, the better. You could do sequences around the milestones in the marketing where you could actually say, okay, if you need help talking to a woman, here's your product. If you need help going on dates, here's your product. However, I wouldn't put those two in the same email. Because what was your email content on? Was your email content on starting the conversation, or was your email content on going on the date? In other words, create email campaigns that focus on, that dedicate themselves to a particular milestone. So you could have several emails around the idea of starting conversations, and you promote the starting conversation product. You have several emails around going on dates, and you promote the going on dates product, right? So it's still 1 = 1. It's stepping them through. So if you look at, hey, I have emails 1 through 3 that focus on step 1. I have emails 4, 5, 6 that focus on step 2. I have email, and you look at the process and moving a customer through that journey. That's where the power of 1 = 1 really comes in. And give versus take. Because now you're just completely giving value to them on that particular step that they actually need help with. And I have, other laws that take that even further, but that should get you started, right? That in and of itself, emails aren't just once and done, and emails aren't just ads, right? Emails are relationship building, and really getting into how you can go help them. Right? So how you can go help your customer to take that next step, to actually start seeing the value in what it is you offer. And as they see that value and they experience that value, then they actually want to buy your stuff. Because if you helped them, take that next step, then you could help them a lot more in the paid stuff. Right. So yeah, okay. In a business sense, one of the things I do have to start looking at is, for a particular person's business, right? What is the result we're trying to get? Who are their customers? And how are we positioning that? So there's lots of different ways we can go. But regardless, if I take an email sequence and I explain, hey, if you want they all want to attract customers, right? Everybody wants their customers. But talking about different methods that can be used, but focus on a particular method at a particular time and going through that process with them, right? Then I could get somebody to say, hey, once you know what method you want, if this is the method you want to go implement in your business, hey, here's the product for you to implement the method. and then do another sequence on another method of marketing and put out another product on that other method of marketing. This is one way of doing it. What I'm working on in my business is I have a number of things going on right now, and it's just thinking through what is that one thing, because on the surface, if I'm like, hey, wait a minute, applying the law of 1 = 1 or give versus take 2, helping people with their marketing it is pretty abstract and pretty big picture, and really, like, there's so many ways we can take it. Well, that's what the marketing can actually be about. If what I want to do is help people figure out what marketing method they should go implement. So if what I'm doing instead is I have one marketing method and I'm saying, if you want to implement this marketing method, then that's when you come to me. That's a slightly different way of positioning. That's taking the different ways that somebody would figure out if that method is right for them and the different steps they need to take in the course of implementing that method and making campaigns based on that. Okay, so that's looking at, if I look at the horizontal campaign, right? That's looking at multiple steps within the same marketing process, versus if what I'm selling is multiple marketing methods, right? So it really comes down to what is that thing that you're selling. Like if you're a marketing agency and you can do a bunch of different things, then we got to get, if we don't know what the person's actually going to want for their business yet, or the person doesn't know what they want yet because their awareness isn't there yet, then we have to have some form of a campaign that helps us figure out what the person actually needs and what the person actually wants. And then we're able to move them further along. So here, the more value you give to them, the more you're able to watch the interaction that your leads have with your emails to figure out what more they want. And the more you're able to give to them, then the more likely they are to basically say, oh, well, then I guess you can help me with this. Because you're basically, that's your extension. That's the offer that you're putting out there, is just saying, hey, if you want help with this, then let's talk. Let's get on a call, or whatever the case may be, right? So all of these marketing laws, there's so much depth in each of them. And really, it's what I go through in helping clients with their marketing, in helping to fix broken marketing, and in just helping to solve a marketing problem, because it's really what makes the marketing work underneath the covers. And so I put them together, the 27 marketing laws. It's not even available for sale yet, but if you do want to know about it when it comes out, send me an email, support@empoweredentrepreneursshow.com. Put in the subject line 27 marketing laws. Let me know you want to know about it. And they're just going to absolutely help a ton of businesses, because they're what I've been using to help a ton of businesses. So anyway, and I hope this was helpful, applying the law of give versus take and the law of 1 = 1 in your business to some degree. And with that, aloha, hui ho. I'll talk with you again soon. Take care. Aloha.
Thank you for listening to the Empowered Entrepreneur Show.